Am I the asshole for telling my wife she can't share my food when we go out to eat? So this happened the other night, but honestly, it's been an ongoing thing in my marriage. My wife and I were out to dinner, and when the waitress came over to take our order, my wife, as usual, said, "I'm not really hungry, I'll just eat some of his fries." She smiled sweetly at me like it was no big deal, and the waitress jotted it down as if it were perfectly normal. But I'd had enough, so I looked at the waitress and said no, she won't. You could feel the air shift at the table. My wife's smile faltered. She stared at me like I'd just slapped her in front of everyone. The waitress gave us both an awkward look, excused herself, and disappeared to put in the order. My wife was visibly hurt, and I knew this wasn't going to be an easy conversation. Let me back up. This isn't the first time this has happened, it's basically a pattern at this point. Whenever we go out to eat, my wife says she's not that hungry or she'll just pick off my plate. At first I didn't mind. I thought, fine, it's cute. We're sharing food, no big deal. But over time it's become really frustrating. I'll order what I want. Sometimes it's a burger with fries or steak or whatever I'm in the mood for, and then she'll suddenly have an appetite after all. But instead of ordering her own meal or even just a side of fries, she starts picking at my food. And not just a fry or two, she'll eat half of them, cherry-picking the hottest, crispiest ones, or nibbling on the best parts of the burger. If I have anything particularly good on my plate, you can bet that's what she's going for. What drives me crazy is that I've told her multiple times that she can order whatever she wants. I'm paying for everything, so she's free to get anything on the menu. I've even suggested that she order the same thing as me if she wants, but she always declines. She'll say, "I'm not that hungry," or "I just want a bite of yours," but we both know it's never just a bite. This is built up over time. I can't tell you how many times I've looked forward to a meal, only to have her swoop in and eat the best parts of it. I'm not someone who loves to share my food. I don't think that's such a terrible thing, right? When I order something, I want to eat it. I don't mind sharing occasionally, but when it happens every single time, it gets old. It's like I'm never able to enjoy my own meal because half of it ends up on her side of the table. But it's more than just the food. It feels like she doesn't respect my wishes. I've told her how I feel about this. I've asked her to order her own food, but she brushes it off like it's no big deal. I know it might sound petty, getting upset over a few fries, but it's become this recurring issue that makes me feel like my preferences don't matter, and that hurts. So back to the other night. When I said no, she won't, my wife's face dropped. She was obviously hurt. I could see it in her eyes. She told me I was being mean and selfish, that it was just a few fries and why couldn't I just let it go? She said I was blowing the whole thing out of proportion and making her feel bad over something small. She even pointed out that she likes sharing food because it feels intimate, like a cute couple thing we do together. But here's the thing. I've tried. I've tried letting it go. I've tried looking at it from her perspective. I understand that sharing food can be a bonding experience for some people, and maybe it's her way of feeling close to me. But for me, it feels more like an invasion. I look forward to these meals, and when she eats half of mine, it leaves me frustrated and honestly, a little resentful. I can see how my reaction might have seemed harsh to her. It's not that I don't want to share anything with her, but at this point, I feel like I never get to just enjoy my meal. I told her that if she's really not that hungry, she can still order something small or even the same thing I'm having and we can share both plates. But taking from mine every time just doesn't feel fair anymore. It's not about the fries, it's about feeling like my needs are constantly being sidelined. She's been quiet since that night. We haven't really resolved it, and now I'm wondering if I was too blunt or if I should have handled it differently. But at the same time, I don't think it's unreasonable to want to enjoy my own meal without feeling like I have to give half of it away. So, am I the asshole for telling my wife she couldn't have my fries? Should I have just let it go and shared, or do I have a point here? I love her, but this has been building for a while and I don't know how to make her understand how much it bothers me.